May 31st, 2006, Stockholm. A server running in a small room becomes the most wanted machine in the world. That machine is powering a platform said to have cost Hollywood billions, the Pirate Bay. That same morning, 53 armed police officers raid a data center. Doors are smashed in, servers are dismantled, drives are seized. Everything is destroyed. By noon, the announcement comes: the site has been shut down. The platform used by 25 million people a day is gone. But 72 hours later, the Pirate Bay is back, as if no one had ever touched it. On the homepage, an image appears, a pirate ship firing at the Hollywood sign. And that is where the real problem begins. Because the site did not disappear, it came back stronger. From this point on, the issue is no longer just a website. It is this question: if you cannot shut this down, do you really control the internet? And how did 3 young hackers pull it off? Stockholm, 2001. A small room, cables on the floor, a computer humming under the desk, and the sound of a fan that never stops. The person sitting in that room is only 19 years old. His name, Gottfrid Svartholm. But the internet will come to know him by another name, Anakata. For hours at a time, he sits at the computer, writing code, building systems, and most importantly, trying to figure out how the internet really works. But technology is not the only thing that interests him. Control. Who gets to share what, who gets to see what, and who gets to decide. By 2003, he is no longer alone. There are 2 people beside him, Fredrik Ney and Peter Sunda. Together, the 3 of them start a small project. At first, it is just an experiment, a simple BitTorrent tracking system. But the idea is very clear. There will be no barriers, no content will be filtered, and no records will be kept. At the beginning, no one takes it seriously. But the system begins to spread. Not slowly, very fast. By 2004, the project has a name, the Pirate Bay. And the number of users rises quickly. Thousands, then tens of thousands. People are sharing everything: movies, music, software, even books. And all of that traffic is still passing through one single point, that little server in Gottfrid's room. And this is exactly where things begin to change. Because this is no longer a small project. It is becoming something that cannot be controlled. Everything is growing fast, but like everything that grows, it begins to attract attention. Hollywood finally notices, and the first move comes: a cease and desist letter sent by DreamWorks. The demand is simple: remove the Shrek torrents. Under normal circumstances, this would be where the story ends. Most sites would back down here, delete the content, and quietly disappear. But this team is different. Gottfrid Svartholm writes the reply, and that reply goes down in internet history. Sweden is not a state of the United States. Under Swedish law, there is no violation. And frankly, you are talking nonsense. This is not just a rejection, it is an open challenge. And this is where the first fracture happens. Because instead of backing down, the Pirate Bay publishes the exchange on the site exactly as it is, in full view of everyone. The result? An explosion. The site's traffic multiplies overnight. People are no longer coming just for the content, they are coming for the attitude. Every legal threat becomes free advertising for them. Every attack makes the site bigger. By 2005, the picture has completely changed. This is no longer a small community. This is a global network. Millions of people are connected at the same time. The system does not stop. And the most critical detail is this: most of the code running this structure is still being written by one single person, Gottfrid. The interface is simple, almost empty: a search bar, a logo, and unlimited content. But what is being built in the background is far more dangerous. Every new user makes the system stronger. Every downloaded file creates another copy. Every share builds a structure that is harder to destroy. This is no longer a website. This is a self-expanding system. And at this point, Hollywood realizes one thing: this is getting out of control. By now, everyone sees it. This is not just a website. This is a structure that cannot be controlled. The Motion Picture Association of America is watching, and its patience is running out. Suing individual users is not working. Trying to scare downloaders is not working. Because the problem is not the people. The problem is the system itself. And that system has an address: Sweden. As 2006 begins, the pressure increases. But this time, it is different. This is no longer just a war between companies. Hollywood starts reaching out to governments. Diplomatic channels come into play. Phone calls, emails, meetings behind closed doors. The message is clear. Shut this site down. Sweden normally does not interfere in internet affairs. But this time, the situation is different. The pressure is coming from outside, and it keeps growing. The government does not back down, but it also stops staying silent. Something begins to move, and right in the middle of that, Gottfrid Svartholm gets a phone call. Someone he knows from the telecom sector. One short sentence. The police are moving. This is not a rumor. It is real. He immediately calls the others. Fredrik Neij. No panic, because they have already thought through this scenario. The plan is ready. And the plan is simple. Save the system, not the hardware, the data. The entire database has already been moved out of Sweden, encrypted, ready, waiting. The destination country, the Netherlands. If the main system goes down, the Pirate Bay will be rebuilt within hours, maybe even faster, because for 2 years, Gottfrid has been working on one thing, making this system capable of being reborn anywhere. This is no longer about a server, not a country, not a company, an idea. And the police do not know that yet. They are getting ready to break down the door, but by the time they get inside, it will already be too late. May 31st, 2006, 5:47 a.m., Stockholm. The first door is smashed open. The police move in. The target is clear. The movements are precise. No one speaks. At the same time, raids are carried out at 10 different locations. Everything unfolds in seconds. Inside the server room, the lights are on. Metal racks are full. The machines are running. The system is live. And then suddenly, everything is shut down. Cables are pulled. Servers are powered off. Drives are removed. One by one. Fast. Methodical. All of the hardware goes into evidence bags. The people working there freeze. No one fully understands what is happening, but everyone feels the same thing. This is the end. At the same time, Gottfrid Svartholm and Fredrik Neij are taken into custody. They are taken into separate rooms. The hours pass. 11 a.m., Swedish television breaks the news. The world's largest pirate site has been shut down. The police stand in front of the cameras. The statement is short, firm, clear. A major criminal organization has been dismantled. Hollywood is pleased. The prosecutors are certain. The media is convinced. The game is over. Everyone trying to access the site sees the same thing. An error message. No connection. Forums around the world erupt. People panic. A crowd gathers in Stockholm. Pirate flags, chants, "Free the Bay!" But at that moment, no one knows this. That is only the visible part, because the police seized the wrong thing. The servers are gone. The hardware is gone. But the system? It was never there to begin with. June 2nd, 2006. Midnight. A small rumor begins to circulate online. The site is back. At first, no one believes it. Then someone checks, refreshes the page, and it loads. The Pirate Bay has returned, just 72 hours later, as if nothing had happened. But this time, it is different. There is a new image on the homepage, a pirate ship firing at the Hollywood sign. This is not a comeback. This is a message. You cannot stop us. So how did it happen? The answer is simple, and just as disturbing. During the raid, the police took the servers, but not the data, because the data had already been moved to another country, the Netherlands. The whole system was ready there, backed up, encrypted, waiting. The moment the raid happened, the plan went into motion. The DNS was changed, the servers were brought online, and the system started running again. 72 hours. That was all it took. The police took the hardware, but they could not touch what really mattered. The code, the data, and the community. Peter Sunda steps in front of the press, calm, relaxed, even slightly amused. They didn't shut the site down, he says. They only helped us grow. And that is exactly what happens. After the raid, traffic explodes. Double, then triple. The site crashes. But not because of the police, because of the users. Millions of people are trying to get in at the same time. In the background, Gottfrid Svartholm and Fredrik Neij are working almost non-stop, for hours, maybe for days, just to keep the system alive. Hollywood wanted to destroy this site, but without realizing it, it made it stronger. And now everyone can see one thing. This is not a website. This is an indestructible system. After the raid, everything changes, but not in the way anyone expected. The Pirate Bay does not shrink. It grows even larger. There is no longer a single server, no single country, no single center. The system splits, multiplies, spreads. New servers in Europe, copies in Asia, backups in different countries. The same site, running in multiple places at once. The code is rewritten, more flexible, faster, and most importantly, able to run anywhere. In an interview, Frederick Ney is asked, "What will you do if there is another raid?" His answer is short, clear. We are already in other countries. This is no longer a plan. This is a strategy. To shut the system down now, targeting one single point is no longer enough. Meanwhile, the Pirate Bay does not stay quiet. They publish the police search warrant on the site, but not as is. They add notes on top of it, mocking, provocative, good luck, try a little harder. This is no longer just a technical war. It is a psychological war. And the audience, the users, are choosing sides. Donations start coming in. Support grows. Traffic rises. 30 million visits a day. The system that once began in a small room is now operating across continents. And at this point, the major companies realize something. If not even a state raid can stop this system, nothing can. Meetings are held. Lawyers are brought in. New plans are prepared. Because now the target is changing. Not the servers, the people. Stockholm. This time, no doors are being broken down, but something else begins. The trial. 4 men are sitting in the courtroom. Gottfried Svartholm, Fredrik Ney, Peter Sunde, Carl Lundström. But the image is strange. No one is panicking. No one looks afraid, as if they are not in a courtroom at all, but on a stage. On the other side, there is a completely different world. Hollywood, major corporations, armies of lawyers. The accusation is clear, assisting millions of copyright infringements. But the defense is far more interesting. We host nothing. We only provide links. In other words, according to them, the Pirate Bay is not a crime machine. It is a search engine. The courtroom is full. Journalists, cameras, the world is watching. And at one point, things shift. The prosecutor tries to explain how the BitTorrent system works, but he explains it incorrectly. Gottfried interrupts him, corrects him. Laughter in the courtroom. A small moment, but a very important one, because something becomes visible there. The law does not fully understand the technology. The prosecutors present charts showing billions of dollars in losses, graphs, numbers, estimates. But on the other side, there are people, users. They send letters. This site helped me get an education. I watched films I could not find anywhere else. I got access to books. The trial is no longer just a case. It becomes a debate. Who owns information? Who has control? And who does the internet belong to? Peter Sunde shares the process live. He writes blog posts. People follow what is happening every day. And without realizing it, even the trial itself becomes part of their content. But as the verdict approaches, only one question remains. Can this system be stopped inside a courtroom? April 17th, 2009. The courtroom is full. There are people standing. Everyone is waiting for the same thing. The verdict. The judge begins to speak. Short, clear, guilty. All 4 defendants are found guilty of assisting copyright infringement. The sentences are announced. 1 year in prison. And together, they are ordered to pay millions of dollars in damages. This is not just a ruling. It is a message. This ends here. But it does not. Within minutes, the Pirate Bay responds. The homepage changes. A new image appears. Mickey Mouse with tape over his mouth. It is a protest, but not a silent one. Peter Sunde stands before the cameras, relaxed, cold-blooded. This sentence means nothing, he says. This is a victimless crime. But there is one important detail. Gottfried Svartholm is not there when the verdict is announced, and that changes the direction of the story. The appeal process begins. No one goes to prison yet, but as time passes, the pressure grows. New rulings are issued. The sentences change, but the damages increase. At this point, it is no longer about money. This is a war of symbols. The final door closes. The decision becomes final. There is no escape now. The authorities move in. But one person is missing. Gottfried Svartholm has disappeared, and the story moves into a new phase. The official explanation is simple. Gottfried Svartholm did not attend the hearing. The reason? Illness. But no one believes it, because the truth is very different. He disappeared. Before long, rumors begin to spread. A new location, Cambodia. The others are caught. Frederick Ney changes countries. Peter Sunda turns himself in. Carl Lundstrom serves his sentence. But Gottfried is gone. Interpol gets involved. A red notice. An international search. Months pass. Now and then, a report appears. He was seen in an internet cafe, at a laptop, quiet, keeping a low profile. And at this point, something strange happens. The system searching for him starts to resemble the system he built. Scattered, hard to track, decentralized. Some sources claim he was working with WikiLeaks. It is not certain, but it is possible. Because by now, he is no longer just a programmer. He is an idea. And in the meantime, the Pirate Bay is still running. Its founders are gone, but the system is alive. A critical change is made. Torrent files are removed, and something new takes their place. Magnet links. A change that looks small, but its impact is huge. Because a torrent file is something physical, but a magnet link? It is only data, a hash, a code, which means now there is nothing left to seize. The system becomes lighter, faster, and far harder to target. In fact, you can download the entire site as a tiny file and rebuild it somewhere else. At this point, the Pirate Bay has become this, a structure that cannot be destroyed. But the story does not end here, because Gottfried's story is about to take a darker turn. August 30th, 2012, Cambodia. The door of an apartment is broken open. Police move inside. This time, the target is clear. Gottfried Svartholm. He is alone inside, at his laptop. Empty energy drink cans around him. A messy room. The look of someone who has been working for a very long time. He surrenders without resistance. A 16-month escape ends there. Within 72 hours, he is sent back to Sweden. The story could have ended here, but it does not. Because this time, the accusation is different. This is no longer about piracy, cyber attack. The prosecutors open a new case file. The allegations are serious. Unauthorized access to state systems, the leakage of identity data, attempted access to banking systems. The target system? Logica, an IT company connected to Sweden's tax infrastructure. The information of thousands of people is at risk. Another allegation, an attempt to gain access to Nordea bank systems. At this point, the story changes. He is no longer just an internet figure. He is a threat. But his defense is clear. I didn't do it. And the explanation that follows is even more interesting. His computer had been compromised. Malware had been installed. It had been used by others. I was just a tool. Experts confirm some of the details. Yes, there is malware on the computer, but the prosecutors are not convinced. Because the real question is this: did someone else do it, or did he? And that question moves to the center of the case. Sweden. This time, the courtroom is different, quieter, more complex, more technical. There is not just one accusation at the center. There is data, log records, timestamps, IP addresses, traces of malware. The courtroom feels almost like a laboratory. Experts speak. This access came from here. This command was sent from that machine. This system was compromised on this date. But nothing is fully clear, because there are two possibilities. Either Gottfried Svartholm used the system to launch the attack, or his system was used by others. And that is where the problem lies. Separating those two is almost impossible. In the end, the court reaches a decision. Partially guilty. Accessing a state system. Guilty. Bank attack. Insufficient evidence. The sentence is announced. 2 years in prison, later reduced to 1 year. But what matters most is not the sentence. It is the message being sent. If the system is yours, then the responsibility is yours too. At this point, it looks like everything is over. But it is not, because another country steps in. Denmark. In 2012, there had been a major cyber attack. The target, CSC. This system holds police data, stores state records, and contains the information of millions of people. And the trail leads back to the same place again, Anakata. Just as he is nearing the end of his sentence, a new decision comes. Extradition. Copenhagen. A new trial. And this time, much heavier. Copenhagen. This time, the atmosphere is different, harsher, more serious, and far less tolerant. The trial begins. The prosecutors focus on one thing: a breach that lasted for months. CSC's systems were penetrated, data was taken, state infrastructure was violated, and once again, the same name, Anakata. Gottfried Svartholm presents his defense, but this time, the strategy is different. That person is not me. He does not just deny it. He goes one step further. He says someone else used his identity. One of the other defendants in the case even says this: I met the real Anakata, and it was not Gottfried. At this point, the case almost turns into a question of identity, but the prosecution is strong. The evidence is clear. The data found on his devices, the access logs, the correspondence, all of it points to the same thing. The court gives its ruling: guilty. Sentence: 3.5 years in prison. At that time, it is one of the heaviest cybercrime sentences ever handed down. The other defendant receives a lighter sentence. He is released. But Gottfried is silent. No reaction. Because at this point, it feels like everything is over. But in reality, the story is still not closed. The door opens. Gottfried Svartholm walks out. Thinner, quieter, but the same person. Denmark wants to deport him, but someone is waiting outside. The Swedish police. A little more time, one final sentence, and then completely free. His mother greets him and says only one sentence. The only thing he wants is to sit in front of a computer again. But that is not the real core of the story. Because the real question is this: they put him in prison, but what about the system? The Pirate Bay is still running. Maybe not with the same power it once had, but it is still there. Mirror sites, proxies, copies, different addresses, different names, but the same system. Over the years, it survived all of this. Police raids, court rulings, domain seizures, its founders going to prison. And despite all of that, it never disappeared. Because the most important truth in this story is this: you cannot destroy something decentralized. Who do you think was right in this story? The system or the state? That's all for this week. If you enjoyed the story, you can like the video and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.